If you're looking for MUT coins to upgrade your MUT game, go to GameRusher.com for cheap and safe MUT coins. You can use my discount code HUB at the website. Use the first link in the description down below and get that upgrade to your game. Alright guys, this is actually my third time recording this video, which funnily enough probably seems like a great way to describe how this game went. Regression. The Giants today look like the Giants of weeks 1 to 6. The Giants today looked terrible. Couldn't get anything done, couldn't get anything moving. Looked absolutely terrible. It looked just like the 49ers game. And guess what? These two games are up there as two of our worst losses of the season. Nothing went right. And everything looked like it was a time machine. We were looking at the Giants of like week 3 against the 49ers. And the biggest takeaway from this game for me personally is that Daniel Jones should not have started. He was not fully healthy to have started. They should have sat him for one more week, and they should have let him rest up to get as healthy as he can be, because he did not look like himself from snap number 1. You know what I mean? And the worst thing to happen in this game, I said this on stream, I was live with TSR and OGR, I said the worst thing that could come out of this is not a Giants loss, not us losing to the Cardinals. No. The worst thing that would come out is if DJ isn't fully healthy, he gets re-injured. And that's exactly what happens. I don't know. I haven't checked Twitter. I haven't went on Google. But he was noticeably limping at the end of the fourth quarter there, right before they put McCoy in. He re-injured his hamstring. That's just the case. And I don't know what the injury update is. I'm expecting it to be longer than it was just now. It's definitely going to be more than 1 week. You re-injured that strained hamstring. This is going to be a longer injury. He's going to be out for like 2-3 weeks. He might be out for the rest of the season because there's only 3 weeks of football left, which obviously puts a lot of stuff in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? It puts our playoffs hope in jeopardy. It puts the division, in jeopardy. More importantly, puts Daniel Jones in jeopardy, which is why it was the worst thing to come out of this game. And the biggest takeaway, he should not have started. I don't know if that was a Joe Judge decision as the head coach, if that was a medical staff opinion, if they said, yeah, you know what, we're going to give him the all clear, he's good to go. That was not the case. He definitely was not good to go at all. He looked bad. And I really do believe a good amount of that has to do with the fact that he wasn't fully healthy, especially when you consider that he did get re-injured this game. He probably should have sat out a little bit more, man. I don't know. DJ, listen, he had a bad game. Had a terrible game. All 3 fumbles I put on him, including the first one, which some people didn't even put on, and they put on Cam Fleming. I put all 3 fumbles on DJ. One of them was lost, so luckily the other 2 were recovered. All 3 of them, in my opinion, he should have kept. And I've said before, we're the only team that has to worry now, once again, that when the quarterback is sacked, is the ball going to come out? It even happened with Cole McCoy. You know what I mean? And I'm going to get into that just now. But all 3 fumbles were on him, which is why he had a bad game, couple bad throws. But guess what? This is a time machine. This game was a time machine back in the first half of the season. He had no help from the O-line, no help from the receivers. Wide receivers cannot get open with this team. And when they do get open, like that Golden Tate pass in the first half, they can't catch the ball. I don't know where the Giants rank when it comes to drop balls in the NFL, but we've seen. Giants fans are looking at this video. If we've watched the team all year, I'm talking about fans that have watched every single game, they have seen the amount of passes that wide receivers into the tight end position has dropped throughout the year. They have seen the amount of passes that should have been caught and are not caught. The amount of passes that go right in their hands and then for some reason pop into the air because they don't catch it properly. And then, that deflection becomes an interception. He had no help from the wide receivers today. No help from the offensive line, which is what I'm going to get back. 3 forced fumbles. Definitely the offensive line has a part in that. 9 sacks in total. The Giants' offensive line allowed Arizona's front 7, which is very average, by the way, and doesn't have Chandler Jones. This is led by Hassan Riddick and Marcus Golden. They made Hassan Riddick look like an absolute all-pro today. He had 5 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. You make Hassan Riddick look like that, bro. Just just pack it up and go home. The offensive line was Swiss cheese today. 9 sacks. 7, I want to say 6 or 7 of those 9s were on Daniel Jones. And those last 2, you know what I'm saying, particularly the second to last one, so that would be sack number 5 or 6. That was the one when he got back up, he was limping again. And then he got sacked again after that. The offensive line was trash. I cannot name one single person on this line that had a good game today. Every single one of them, you know, gets an F from me, you know, F for fail. Andrew Thomas, terrible. Will Hernandez, terrible. Shane Lemieux, terrible. Nick Gates, terrible. I almost said Will Hernandez again. Kevin Zeiler, terrible. Cam Fleming, for sure, terrible. Matt Peart, even in there. He gave up a couple sacks when he came in. Terrible. Could not do anything. So, yes, while DJ had a terrible game, I keep in mind the fact that, A, he probably wasn't fully healthy. And even if he was, the offensive line was trash, and the wide receivers were trash, and the play calling was trash. I said it last week during the Seattle win, and even during the Bengals win. People came at me a little bit because they're like, hey, we won, you shouldn't worry about it. This is why I was worrying about it. Even during the games that we won, the offensive play calling was putrid, especially when it came to the passing game, especially when it came to passing concepts and, you know, routes. Jason Garrett did not do his receivers any favor today, and now it goes both ways. The receivers don't get open, yet at the same time, they're not getting help from Garrett with, you know, trying out a little bit different routes. I really hated the play calling today. And there was one 3rd-and-1 situation where he should have handed the ball back to Wayne Gallman. He just got a 9-yard carry. It's 3rd-and-1, and then Garrett decides to pass it. You should have just ran it back, man. Who knows what kind of changes that make? Because the Giants didn't even get into Arizona territory that much. And it's not only on the offense, by the way. Special teams, for like the 3rd, 4th week in a row, has been trash. Since the bye week, the special teams has been right up there with the offense for probably one of the worst parts of this team right now. Special teams look terrible today. They cannot cover punt or kick returns anymore, it seems. It just seems like they can't do that. And I did have a little bit, you know, it's a minor problem. I don't know, maybe some people see it as a major one, with Jabril Peppers continuously taking fair catches on the punt returns, not really trying to take them out. And it gave the Giants offense, who was already struggling, even, you know, worse field position, and makes them struggle even more. And then with the defense, and I do give credit to the defense. Once again, this reminds me so much of the first half of the season, where I'm saying, yes, Daniel Jones had a bad game, but then at the same time, like, you have to realize every part around him had a terrible game, or played terribly, and the play calling was bad. And then I'm also like, give props to the defense, because they did what they could. You got to expect them. They're not immortal. They're going to get tired as the game goes on, and they were on the field for so long. So I give props to them for holding them, you know, keeping us in the game as long as they could. Yet at the same time, the defense could have done more. You know what I'm saying? It just feels so much like the first half of the season. And what I mean by the defense could have done more is Arizona's offensive line, much like their defensive line, is very average. And we couldn't get any type of pressure on them. Leonard Williams from last week disappeared. You know what I'm saying? The rookies, and this is a bit more excusable because they're rookies. They're rookies, and they're late round picks, undrafted guys that had amazing games last week. They disappeared as well, but once again, they're rookies. They're undrafted guys. They're late round guys. That's understandable. But Leonard Williams disappeared. You know what I mean? The interior pressure wasn't getting there. I mean, Jabal Sheard wasn't getting there. It was just not looking good. We couldn't get any type of pressure on Kyler Murray. I don't think we had a sack until like the final minutes of the 4th quarter. You know what I mean? Linebacker coverage, definitely a step back from last week. You know what I'm saying? Secondary, I think we definitely missed the presence of Darnay Holmes, because secondary was not good. I mean, it's fair to say that this was James Bradbury's worst game of the season. I don't know the exact matchup of how many times he went against Hopkins, but I think we all know Hopkins definitely had a good game today. It's not like he was locked down or anything. And yeah, even with all that, you know what I'm saying, with the defense, I know the defense could have done better, especially when it comes to the pressure department and just getting to Kyler Murray, just getting a hit on him, which they failed miserably at today. Even with all that, I'm still saying I gotta give I'm not blaming the defense because of how little they were on the field. And, you know, you consider the situation, and this, once again, it's like a time machine back to the first half of the season, man. That's really my thoughts on it. I don't even have any thoughts for next week right now. I'm just kind of in pain mode. Let me know what you guys think. Put your thoughts down below, and I'm out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll catch y'all in the next one.